Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is just going to be a little video covering a few things. I've had a lot of questions in the comments about my 3D printed wrist rest, my 3D printed mouse stands, as well as what skates I recommend. And this is probably perfect timing to fill you in on the Xact skates. Ever since my Beast Max review, these skates have been on this mouse and they are in the same condition they were in when they were first put on this mouse. The Xact skates could be a potential remedy for those who don't want to continuously deal with PTFE dust coming off the skates onto their pad if you're using a glass pad, or people who just don't like the slowdown caused over time on their PTFE skates or inconsistencies in their PTFE skates. Now, the one thing that you will get with these skates is maybe like a very minimal audible increase on some glass pads. I've got the Kxyss here. You guys have been asking a lot about this pad as well. This was a limited drop, just so you guys know, so it might be hard to find it. You might have to pay aftermarket prices, unfortunately. But Glassworks does have a new glass pad coming out soon, the Hana, so you guys can keep your eyes peeled on that. I think they're going to have more units as well for the Hana than the Kxyss. Now, the Xact skates are on my Beast Max. These have been on this mouse since my original video covering the Beast Max. These skates are literally in the same condition they were in when I first put them on the mouse. There's no wear down. There's no visible signs of wear whatsoever, and they have not slowed down at all, except maybe after, like the first several hours using them, they might speed up just a little bit. But you guys can get a sense of the audible factor on a glass pad. It's just really not bad at all. It's kind of like a minimal audible increase over good PTFE dots. These are the ones that came with the Superglide V2 from Pulsar, kind of basically like the wallhack skates. And you can hear that glide in comparison to the Xact skates. A little bit louder, a little bit higher pitched on the glide, but nothing that you hear in game. It's not loud enough if you have IEMs in or if you have headphones on to be able to hear it while you're playing. If you're in a room with other people, will they hear this more than this? Sure, absolutely. But it's, again, barely louder on the Xact skates. So the big thing about these skates that differs from the plastics dot skates, the full-size skates are going to feel better and a little bit more consistent on most cloth pads. And that's because some cloth pads have a difference in thickness. If you're using a soft pad, if you're using an X-Soft pad, dots like to dig into the pad a little bit, especially when you're applying downward pressure. Because there is a larger surface area on the Xact skates, it's not going to feel much like that at all. So for instance, if I swap to the Type 99 here from Artisan, which is on the slower side of pads. First and foremost, the Xact skates aren't really like glass skates in the sense that they don't really feel like they slow down with moisture. They don't feel like they slow down with any humidity. The Xact skates, even on a controlled pad like the Type 99, they feel actually quite a bit smoother and quite a bit faster than even some PTFE skates. And of course, no real audible noise on the Xact skates on cloth. Now, compared to even the dots, I would say the speed does feel ever so slightly more controlled on the Xact skates, but again, very, very consistent in comparison to PTFE. So honestly, if you don't really want to have to deal with constantly changing your skates and you want skates that are good both on cloth as well as glass, these skates have been phenomenal and they've treated me well. And honestly, as soon as I can get Xact skates to go on my G Pro decks and to go on something like my new Vaxi E1, I'm certainly going to try to get these skates because I personally don't like dealing with changing out dots and changing out skates repeatedly throughout the course of several months. And one thing I would point out, my favorite pad to date with the Xact skates has been the Lethal Neptune Pro. I think the Xact skates really excel on hybrid surfaces, ones with tight weaves. It just feels super good, very consistent. It doesn't pick up as much as the surface material as some dots can. And as you are pushing into the pad, I never get a sense of magnetism. I don't get a sense like the skates are catching on anything, even when there's humidity, which could be some issues with some glass skates. Whereas with PTFE dots, when I am pushing in, you can hear. That's one of the issues with dots is with a pad that does have a foam density that you can dig into, those edges will get caught in the material. So again, I prefer it on hybrid pads, pads like the Neptune with tighter weaves, and on glass pads. I would use these any day of the week over PTFE. I do think that there is just a tremendous amount of stopping power here, and the skates just really have a nice, open, airy, dynamic speed as well as a static speed. That again just feels really one-to-one with my movements, and something that I never get like this magnetized feeling or any slowdown as I'm digging in on the skates. I do prefer the surface area on full fitting skates compared to dots when done right, and these are done right. They've got a ton of models on launch. I think they have like all the big mice, the G Pro Superlight, the Viper V3 Pro, just a ton of mice. I'll leave the website down below, and you guys can check also the models that they will have launching. They do launch tomorrow at 8 a.m., and you can use code FRESH if anybody wants some savings. So really good skates. I love what TJ is doing. They are manufactured in-house in America, and they have my full support. It's a product that I know works. It's a product that I know has longevity, and it's a product that has been damn good in my performance in game. I would easily recommend these skates to anybody looking for a almost near permanent solution for their mice. And like if you're going to tournaments and stuff and you need that consistency, again, it is a very good solution for what is kind of a problem, swapping skates constantly because they wear down. So other than the TJ skates, I do want to just cover a few 3D prints. There are two guys that I've had the opportunity to become quite friendly with, and you guys have asked a ton of questions about some of the 3D printed stuff on my desk. You guys can see the craftsmanship that went into the Fresh Reviews mouse stand. This thing is really, really beautiful, and this was made by the Theillmeister along with this stand here. And I've got the Theillmeister. I'll show you guys his Twitter information. You guys can go on and see where you can order things. But the craftsmanship from the Theillmeister, I've been fully satisfied with everything. So satisfied that I have actually hired him to work on a larger, more broad scale project that I'm really excited to show off on my desk when it's done. You guys can see a little snippet here, but just really, really good work. So anybody who's been looking for these mouse stands, they work flawlessly. They have a little bit of a rubber bumper here that will help hold the mouse in place, and a rubber bumper as well on the backside. Also a backing here on the bottom so that it does stay pretty damn stuck to your desk. Really, really perfect, and there is room to even house your dongle here on the backside of the base behind the mouse. So it's just a really sweet design, and I've really, really enjoyed it. The other guy that I have been doing a lot of 3D printed stuff through is Kxyss, Kxyss. I'll show you guys his Twitter information as well and his website. I think he even has like code FRESH now that gives you guys savings. I don't get anything from it, and I'm not really worried about that. If I can get you guys some savings, so be it. But I think code FRESH works on his site, and this is a glow-in-the-dark 3D printed wrist rest. You guys have seen this in a lot of my videos. And without this, I've just had a lot of empty space here in some of the videos on my desk. I think this was just a really cool way to add an element that kind of pops and just adds that aesthetic flair to some of the videos. And not only that, but just functionally, I do enjoy using this wrist rest. And when I turn out the lights, you guys will see the glow-in-the-dark material here. It's just really cool. My daughter loves it. I love it. And these guys are just doing very, very pristine work. I mean, you can see everything is just really well done, very clean edges on all of the elements there on the wrist rest itself. And even the backside with the backing here, with the rubber stoppers, as well as Kxyss customs. It's just very smooth, very clean, and very reasonable work from Kxyss as well as the Theillmeister. I just wanted to share that with you guys because they deserve a lot of attention. They're doing really cool stuff. And like, the peripheral market gets a little boring at times. And if anybody really wanted some flair on their desk, these guys are doing some really, really cool stuff. So that is really it for this one, guys. I just wanted to give you guys the information on the skates because they drop tomorrow and they do make them in-house in America. So the availability, like when they sell out, it might be some time before they come back up. So just keep your eyes on the Xact skates because they are very good performers, very consistent on glass. I think a lot of people will very much so enjoy them, especially, again, because there's no PTFE dust that will come off on glass. You saw some PTFE dust from my other mice, but there's no dust, there's no scratching, there's no inconsistencies that develop over time. Much more strong, much more sturdy than PTFE, and things that I think over the long term end up saving people quite a bit of money instead of constantly changing out PTFE, especially like if you're playing a lot and putting a lot of hours in. So some really awesome stuff here from a lot of people that I think deserve attention. TJ exclusives, killer skates, and then the 3D prints from Kxyss and the Theillmeister. Check them out, guys. That's it for this one. I hope it helped. If it did, please leave a sub to the channel. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.